This show was underwritten by the Avis and Bruce Richards Family Foundation.
One syllable fruit.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Mesh Seibel, and welcome to this week's edition of LunchNYC, where we're asking the question, where do good habits come from? You know, eating and staying fit is like any other discipline. You've got to learn how to do it. So we're taking you on visits to courses, classes, and programs that can teach you just that, things that are right in your own backyard. So stay tuned, you're going to enjoy this episode and learn a lot in this edition of LunchNYC.
Growing up in New York is a unique experience. In one of the most cultural, educated, and health-aware cities in the world, there's a lot for a child to take in. But for some children, getting access to the resources they need to thrive can be difficult. The group Change for Kids is trying to make a difference, one kid at a time.
What we do as an organization is try to partner with some of the most under-resourced schools in the city and respond to their most essential needs. The area that was most essential for them was fitness and nutrition program.
We noticed that a lot of our schools were lacking fitness education, and when they do have it, the kids really don't have access to it the same level I did when I was growing up. They're getting it once a week for one semester.
What I've noticed among our students is that they're not making healthy choices in regards to eating. They're coming in with soda for breakfast, for lunch.
On paper, 33% of children obese or overweight in America didn't sound like an issue until you realize that 20 years ago it was 7%, 8%.
What scares me more than the children being overweight is the diabetes, the high blood pressure, and the high cholesterol that kids are having at 7, 8, 9 years old.
We wanted to create a program that was scalable, that could really change the epidemic in America from the core. And where more from the core than in a classroom.
Change for Kids recognizes the importance of nutrition in a healthy child's development.
We try to bring in some activities such as food tasting, which is going on behind me now, to get the kids really involved in the tasting and the feeling and the textures of the foods that are taught in the lessons.
I brought you guys some pumpkin granola. All right, so.
And they come in, they volunteer, they donate supplies, time, and energy. They take our children on trips, and they always find useful educational programs and resources to help our school move ahead.
Having this program here is going to help them make better decisions about the foods they eat, and that's going to pass on to the families, and it will have a great impact on the staff as well.
We encourage the kids, go home, tell your parents what you tasted today, tell your parents or show your parents the exercises you did in fitness class today. Make sure you share this with your families.
How do you have cereal? What do you have in your cereal? What do you have?
Milk!
Milk, very good. You can have it with milk?
We want them to really understand that it can be very simple with little changes throughout the day. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing kind of thing.
A lot of them think that nutrition is something big and bad, so a program like this will help them to discover that eating can be fun, and fitness is not always something that's going to hurt them.
We've seen firsthand that children get excited to tell our instructors, oh, I've eaten grapes last night, or I had fruit for breakfast, or I had, we made one of those smoothies that you showed us in the classroom.
I had a parent come up to me and say, my child all of a sudden is coming home every day and wants to do exercises. I mean, what's more shows more impact than that when a parent recognizes that their child is doing something different and has changed because of Fan for Kids.
Last year in the city of Newark, public schools, 500 kids, 200 parents who responded to the survey said 71% of them said that their child has influenced a healthy atmosphere at home. That's big numbers that even shocked us.
We've already had teachers come up to us who are tremendously excited, and they're already asking about whether they can participate in the classes. They want to talk to their kids about it. They want to get their families involved, and I'm really excited to see how it goes over the course of this year.
When your mind is alert, when you feel good, when you eat things that are good for your body, you feel better. When you're moving around and you're physically fit, your body works better. And if all that is in tune, then of course your mind is more open and you're more focused. And that's what we really want our children to remain focused, to be energetic, to feel good about themselves, to feel good inside and outside, and that will definitely lend to being more successful in schools.
Study after study showed that there was a link between being physically fit and doing well in school.
Children will be so energized by what they're learning. The parents will be so involved and so with them with this new idea that it really becomes the way they live their lives, right?
I can start modeling how to eat better, and that it will give me choices to change my lifestyle and in turn changing theirs.
Education is the route to changing what children select at the lunch table.
Our goal would be to bring it to all the kids in the school eventually, and then to all Change for Kids schools, and then hopefully to all the schools in New York City, tri-state area, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
You're empowering the kids, you're developing them through mind, body, and making them feel a lot better about who they are.
With groups like Change for Kids and support from the community, teachers, parents, and schools, New Yorkers are dedicated to giving every child the opportunity to reach their full potential and live healthy lifestyles.
No parent likes it when they've spent time creating a meal that their kids refuse to eat. Well, next time, try bringing your kids into the kitchen with you. Not only is cooking a fun way to keep your kids entertained, but it also encourages them to try new things. They'll be more likely to enjoy something that they've had a hand in making, and you can teach them about nutrition and the ingredients all at the same time. When you sit down to dinner, you'll be amazed at the pride they take in their own creations, and who knows, maybe you'll end up with a full-time chef on your hands.
As the old saying goes, teach a man to fish, and you keep him fed for a lifetime. New York City's Learn It, Grow It, Eat It is doing just that, but with selling produce.
Learn It, Grow It, Eat It is kind of a hybrid of our greening program and our environmental education program. We hire our 15 most energetic, enthusiastic kids for summer, and they actually become our teachers for the community. They work in 3 community gardens, they hold gardening classes for little kids and other teenagers. They run this farmer's market for 6 weeks, and at this farmer's market they do nutrition education programs, they do cooking demonstrations. We're growing vegetables, but we're also growing teenagers.
It's kale with, stir-fried kale with olive oil and garlic. Every week we have different demonstrations, and they're pretty simple. They don't have many ingredients, so they're very simple. It doesn't take much time, and it's only like 4 or 5 ingredients. We kind of put the information out there and give it to them so that they could be wise and, just use the information to benefit themselves.
A big problem with people not eating fresh food is because they don't have the time, or they think it's time consuming to prepare these dishes, and we want to show them, look, in 10 minutes you could put something together that's really tasty and healthy for you.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what this is going to look like. I'm going to go home and make this today, I think.
Who wants to taste? Okay. It's cool because I get to interact with people every day, and they're very friendly, and they kind of were very supportive.
There are lots of people who, when you say you're working with teenagers, they go, you must be so patient. And I just find that when you give them this kind of opportunity to learn and to thrive in, it's just amazing what comes out of it. It also teaches the kids communication skills, social skills, and business skills as well.
The grains are $2 a bunch, man. Oh, LGE is the only market that we do borough locally food. Like every other market we do upstate New York. Most of the people who come here intending to buy something are also feeling adventurous in their palate, They taste it and they say, oh wow, I never knew orange cauliflower tasted this way, or I've never heard of orange cauliflower. According to our farmer, it doesn't have a flavor difference than a white cauliflower, but I don't like to just rely on what the farmer tells me. I like to bring it home, try it out myself, and that way I could give a first-person account. If we can't sell it, we donate it to whoever we possibly can, So no food is actually wasted.
Food is just one consequence of really the whole environment they're in. So we really want them to become familiar with nature here in the Bronx. Once they start to understand the food they're eating isn't healthy, that it's artificial, and the distinction between artificial and natural food, that's when we work with them in community gardens. We're here in Morrisania, the Bronx, in the JDD, Jacqueline Denise Davis Community Garden. This garden is about 15 years old. This is a garden that was created by people who live in this neighborhood who stayed here and wanted something nice around them. When we first came here, this area was not being used for anything, and it was thigh-high in weeds, mugwort. And so one of the first projects we had students do was just remove all the mugwort and start bringing in new soil to start growing vegetables. I think a lot of people, when you start asking what you could grow in the Bronx, it's very limited in their mind. They don't know that you could grow almost anything that's not tropical. Yeah, this is our blackberry bush, which unfortunately fell victim to our 4th of July fire and killed our berry crop for the summer, but as you can see, it's making its way back. And on July 4th, this caught on fire when a stray bottle rocket landed in this hay here. But when I bring classes out here, I just like to get them used to seeing vegetables growing, things that they're used to eating, and actually seeing them growing in nature and talk about them. And it's a way to also talk about parts of the plant. If you could catch it at the right moment where they can actually visually make that connection, wow, this flower is now turning into an eggplant, then I think that's something that they're going to remember for a while. And then they start to understand the role of bees and other animals and how important they are in this process, that if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have all this fruit in here. When it works, the kids start asking questions based on it, and their eyes light up, and I think they remember things much more when it's tactile. I'll have teachers say that the kids will come back from internship and they'll start incorporating what they've learned in internship into their class. We reach anywhere between 100 and 150 kids a semester, and then multiply that by the kids they reach out to when they do outreach projects. And we'd love to see this in other neighborhoods around the city. I think it would be a natural fit in so many different places.
Learn It, Grow It, Eat It hopes to continue their efforts, both in providing business skills for budding entrepreneurs and serving their neighborhoods with fresh, affordable produce.
There's a lot of talk these days about high fructose corn syrup, but here's some facts for you and your family to know about high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is made by changing the sugar, glucose, found in cornstarch to fructose, another kind of sugar. We end up with a combination of fructose and glucose. Because it extends the shelf life and is a lot cheaper, you find high fructose corn syrup in sodas, fruit juices, and all kinds of processed foods. Consuming high amounts of this processed sugar may increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and coronary artery disease. To limit or eliminate your intake of high fructose corn syrup, try the following. Avoid foods that contain added sugars. Always read the ingredient list of the foods you purchase. And choose fresh fruit rather than fruit juice or fruit-flavored drinks. Drink less soda. Don't allow sweetened beverages to replace milk and water. Knowing what goes into your body is the best way to be in control of your health.
Art can be many things to many people. Beautiful, inspirational, colorful, but edible? At the Metropolitan Museum of Art, curators are giving their patrons the opportunity to experience and learn about their favorite paintings and sculptures in a tasty new way.
We are so privileged to work with curators here in the museum and design menus around exhibits. Up until October was the Viennese Silver exhibit, and so we designed a 3-course Viennese menu.
The food here that we highlighted on our menu is the tomato soup, which is typical of Vienna, with a little bit of local green scallions. We also have a Wiener Schnitzel, which is a traditional schnitzel of Vienna, and a Sockertorte, which is all house-made here at the Met Museum.
Sometimes when there's an exhibit, a curator will come to us and say, would you be interested to design a menu around this exhibit? And we absolutely love when this happens.
So our menu here at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in Petrie Court is focusing on the foods of Spain and the time period that Miro was around. And his food that we are highlighting here from his region, we have a grilled octopus salad with piquillo peppers right from his hometown, with a fresh spinach salad with roasted shallots from all local and sustainable from Long Island. Braised lamb with a lot of Spanish spices and flavors, raisins and fresh almonds from the area. We finish it with our pastry chef Randy Eastman's beautiful dessert, inspiration from one of his paintings as well. It's a raspberry and chocolate bomb. So you'll enjoy that when you come to the Petrie Court.
For us, the restaurant experience is extremely important. We're deeply committed to it. About 1.5 million of the 5.2 million people who come to the institution in some way engage in having a drink or lunch or dinner or some kind of snack while they're here.
So as we go through the year, and with every experience, we build new relationships with our curators, and it gets easier and easier to do these menus. There's a lot of work that goes into it, with a lot of resources in the museum that we use.
Restaurant associates and we work closely, our curatorial staff works closely with restaurant associates on brainstorming about menu options and other opportunities and that people can have for learning more about food as it relates to the artworks that are here.
Ultimately, we want to do something that extends the experience for the visitor in the museum. And then also, we like to focus on healthy and sustainable food.
The company is deeply committed to being green, as is the Metropolitan.
So whenever we use product, we try to use it from local vendors.
Anytime we can incorporate that, we feel that that's meaningful. It's also meaningful if you think about how many international visitors we have here. We're very proud of our New York State products.
We are very fortunate. We have a lot of vendors from the Hudson Valley, from Long Island. And so that makes our job really, really fun. So if you've been to the museum, I hope you come again. If you've never been, I hope you come and try it. There's so many things to see, so many things to try, and it's just an incredible museum to come to.
With new edible exhibits opening at the Met and Guggenheim every month, there's always an opportunity for New Yorkers to take a bite out of art.
Wonder what to talk about with your kids at dinner? Try asking them to explain something that happened to them that day at school, or maybe sharing something that happened to you that day at work. Studies show that by communicating often with your kids is an important method towards them retaining information. Encourage them to discuss what they're studying, how their relationships are going, because this will further develop their thoughts and opinions and really develop their critical thinking when they're out in the world.
Everyone learns in different ways, and for kids, important messages about health, nutrition, and hygiene can sometimes be lost in delivery. LunchNYC's very own Dr. Maish Seibel has been bringing healthy messages to kids in a unique way, a little song and dance.
There's a lot of stuff in medicine that happens in steps. So I started thinking it would be kind of fun if we could take that information and put it in a way that people could remember it. So I would take an operation and actually put it to song. When you listen to how people actually learn, there's a couple of things that are important. One of them is the spoken word, one of them is the rhythm of the words, and the other is the music that accompanies. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! I've loved music my whole life. I mean, when I began as a little kid, my whole home was filled with music. My dad had a wonderful voice, and I used to listen to him sing all the time. It was just full of music. Come sing a song or two and tell what songs can do to keep you healthy. There was schoolhouse rock, and people learned all these songs like Conjunction Junction, What's Your Function, and all those other kinds of songs. So I thought, well, if we could have something that focused on health, it would be health rock. And I would try to use the medical information and put it into a musical context so people could remember it and be engaged in the process. Don't be afraid of a squash. Zucchinis are never meanies. Did you know that peas and carrots can be a treat and corn on the cob is really sweet? Prevention is the most important thing we can do. I mean, the motto of Health Rock is, it's better to stay well than to get well. Who wants to stay healthy? Of course you do, because my motto is, it's better to stay well than to get well. You all agree with that? Yeah. Kids need to be engaged. It has to be interesting. So if we can make something fun, and it's much easier to make it memorable. The average kid is spending between 4 and 6 hours a day listening to music anyway. It's a natural way to learn. If the average person on the street were to stop and think about songs and learning, one of the best examples would be the ABC song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. See how you all said P? It made sense to me and to other people who suggested it that I should capitalize on the fact I am a real doctor. I talk around the world anyway on medical information, so why not capture that together with the songs and make Health Rock come to life that way? Somebody was trying to quit smoking, and I had this quit smoking song, and they actually wanted to put it on their phone so that their ringtone would always talk about quit smoking, and it was kind of a pleasant but constant sort of nudge that was getting into their head as they were trying to withdraw from all the nicotine and everything. Remember when you were in school, kids who smoked thought they were cruel. If they keep smoking pack after pack, they're much more likely to get a heart attack. Quit smoking, quit smoking. I call it stealth education. What you want to do is get people to realize that they got the information but not even realize where they got it or how they got it. I mean, that to me is what makes it fun. Exercise keeps your body stronger. It won't take long to realize you feel better when you exercise. I have found that over time, just like anything you keep working at, it's a craft and it's an art, and it's gotten particularly fun and it's improved constantly. And it's been a real fun journey. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth.
Learning about making healthy choices can be fun, and no matter how you say it or sing it, educators are finding ways to get the message out.
Besides the great food, all the cultures here in New York have a lot to offer in terms of mind and body. There are many different fitness disciplines from around the world being practiced right here in the city. Here's a few examples of different techniques people practice. Yoga is a practice from India that focuses on body and mind and involves stretches and meditation. Pilates is a technique developed in Germany which focuses on the core muscles, developing strength and body stability. Zumba hails from Colombia and is a fun, dance-based form of exercise that uses rhythms to promote movement. Check out as many different forms of exercise as you can to find the right one for you.
I'm Dylan. I'm always hungry and I'm always looking for a new restaurant in New York City. But here's the thing, it has to be healthy. Let's visit all 5 boroughs to find the best healthy food in New York City.
Hi. Hey Dylan, I'm Elliot. I'm an instructor at Natural Gourmet Institute.
So what are your goals at the Natural Gourmet Institute?
Well, the school is devoted to health supportive cooking. And one of the ways we do that is we concentrate on what we call whole foods, foods that have all of their edible parts intact. We like to use the highest quality food, the freshest food. That's what we concentrate on, a little bit more than maybe other schools might. And that's what we try to impart to our students, is using the highest quality food in its most whole form.
And why do you use organic food?
Organic food is, by our standard, the highest quality. It is the closest to whole. It hasn't been subjected to any genetic modification. It hasn't been irradiated. It hasn't been subjected to any pesticides or herbicides, any poisons, any toxins. That's why that's important to us and our students.
So do you use it for health purposes and taste purposes?
Both. Yes. We believe, I don't know if you can scientifically prove that organic food tastes better. Yeah. I feel like it does. We also cook according to season. That's very important to us. What's fresh in the season. And we also think about color, taste and texture, having a variety in every meal. Sour, salty, sweet, pungent, and hot or astringent. We're going to do noramaki. We're going to do rice rolls. They're going to have tempeh, which is our protein source in them. We also have a miso soup, which is a little more protein. We're going to have a nice dessert. We're going to do a nice sorbet made strictly from fruit and a little bit of natural sweetener maple syrup. And we're going to do a little cookie that's also sweet. Are you ready to go? Let's go in. Right here. Here's the kitchen.
I'm here in the Natural Gourmet Institute in Chelsea, and I'm going to learn how to make some sushi and miso soup. Let me get going. Time to eat. This sushi is really good, and now I know how to make it. I'm gonna definitely try it at home.
Well, that wraps it up for this week's edition of Lunch NYC. We visited an elementary school. We saw what happens when you put high art together with higher education for learning how to eat. And we even learned how to whip obesity into shape. So I hope you've learned a lot and enjoyed it tonight. And remember, next Thursday at 8:30 p.m., you can see another episode of Lunch NYC.
Funding provided by